Technology never sleeps, even when you do. Now, today we'll be talking about the technical revolution redefining our era, the artificial intelligence, where men are trying to build machines in their own image and likeness. My name is Providence. Welcome to Clockwise. Today we're having a very interesting conversation on artificial intelligence. I have two gentlemen. They are not just AI specialists. They are different things in different fields, and you're going to meet them today. First, let me start the introduction. On my left, I have a cybersecurity professional, an AI enthusiast, and also a tutor at the Netizens ICT. Please welcome Mr. Kanem. Welcome to Clockwise.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. And also on my right, I have Mr. Udombat. He's also a data analyst and AI enthusiast, and also somebody is doing one mighty project that we're going to talk about. Please welcome to Clockwise. All right. Now, it's a nice time meeting the both of you.
Thank you.
Especially when you see young people doing AI in Africa. You know, it's very rare. It's very rare. Okay, people want to take people's job. All right. Okay, what we'll do is that, you see, you've been on this show before on several occasions, and we've spoken about AI. So what I want us to do is that, you see, I want us to check if the definition of AI has actually changed. Because somebody said DeepSeek came to actually redefine artificial intelligence. So I'll have your own perspective about artificial intelligence, but let me have his. From then till now, and what DeepSeek has done, has the definition of artificial intelligence, has it changed?
Not exactly. So artificial intelligence would always be the use of machines or the programming machines to behave like humans. In a very layman's presentation or understanding, it is when you build machines or you program machines. By that we mean tools and software to think, reason, and operate like human beings.
Okay.
Human-like reasoning, human-like operation, and human-like interaction.
Okay.
And so that's why you have examples like large language models, like the one you just mentioned, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, Gemini. All of these are language models that reason, that trained with human data and reason and interact.
Has DeepSeek not redefined?
When we say redefine the concept of training.
Okay.
Before now, we used to believe that you need insane computing power.
Yeah.
You needed insane chips. Like, I mean, you had the likes of Blackwell from NVIDIA, H100 from NVIDIA. Those are very powerful chips. We believe that you needed insane chips, compute power. You needed the power that you need to actually train this language model had to be so high. But DeepSeek, and of course the budget had to be so much insane, in the billions or hundreds of millions of dollars.
Okay.
But what DeepSeek did was to make people to redefine how language models can be trained, training and inferencing. It actually brought down the cost. So if someone tells you that we could train a language model for 5.6 million, whereas OpenAI actually trained us with 100 million. We've had a number of other people, Gemini, we've had Llama, and all those other language models were trained with insane amount. Meta actually even said that they're budgeting $60 billion.
So what DeepSeek has done?
So what DeepSeek has done is to redefine people's thought around the budget needed for language model training and inferencing.
Right, now, do you agree with him?
Absolutely, yes. From the definition, he has said it all in a layman's understanding. AI is making the machine to be able to do human-like activities. So what has happened, the definition of AI has not changed, but what changed is the capabilities of AI.
Okay.
Like my mentor do say, AI has already been in existence before. It is a data analysis that used to be there. We call it predictive AI, when you can use a set of data to predict certain outcomes in the future. So AI was in existence before, and the current era we are is in the generative AI, where we have the large language models you have explained, and then we are heading towards agentic AI, where the definition does not still change, but its capabilities change.
Okay.
So talking about DeepSeek, in one word, what it has come to do is to democratize AI, putting it in the hands of, from the training process to the usages, the hands of diverse people all around the world.
Now, if AI actually has emotion, let's assume AI has emotion, what do you think AI will fear most about humans?
Okay, let me answer that by stating clearly that AI does not have emotion. Now, the question is an assumption. If it does, what will it fear? I believe it will fear eviction or extinction, being put into extinction. Like a country or the government now declares from today we ban AI. So that is what AI will fear because it has come to stay. It has come to coexist with humans. So if it has emotion, it will be like the way human beings are talking all about the negative aspect. Maybe one day they will ban me, they will put me to eviction. That's what I think it could fear most.
Okay, now, you see, let's assume, Mr. Kanem, as a cybersecurity professional, how did you outline the effect of AI in your profession?
Okay, so I mean, cybersecurity has to do with data protection, data privacy, and one of the things people have talked about is data privacy around AI.
Okay.
For example, when you're training a language
But before
model,
is AI a threat to to cybersecurity?
the use of AI could be a threat, or the training of AI could be a threat.
Okay.
Because, for example, AI is trained on huge data, some of which could be proprietary data.
Okay.
So the question is, when you train a language model with proprietary data, that means, and that language model would also make completions using those proprietary data. That is a breach of someone's intellectual property. That's number one. Number two, we've seen the rise of deep fakes. These are AI enhanced capabilities. He mentioned capabilities which have changed. So deep fakes have turned the entire cybersecurity community on its head, or cybersecurity practice on its head, because I mean, someone could literally show you a video of you dancing naked in the market, and before people begin to understand that it's an AI, the damage, the reputational damage would have been done. Beyond that, you also have that language models are able. There are new forms of AI we call AI agents.
Okay.
That literally can interact with each other, meaning that these agents can literally come up with things that could help what people that can call kids or people that are completely inexperienced to be able to launch some of the most sophisticated cyber attacks. I mean, before for you to do ransomware attack, you had to really go learn cybersecurity and learn how to build a ransomware. But now with some AI models that don't have guardrails, I mean, some very people that have zero experience in cybersecurity can literally build and deploy ransomware attacks in ways that we've never seen before. So AI presents a lot of risk to cybersecurity professionals. But again, as it's preventing those risks, it is also helping security professionals very well. Because I mean, if you look at I'm a cybersecurity professional, and if you look at some tools that we use some activities that we used to do, something like malware analysis, something like incident response, and all those things, used to take us sometimes, and incident detection, in detection of indicators of compromise used to take us a long time, with some level of error, a very significant level of error.
Okay.
But now the margin of error has reduced tremendously because of AI, and the speed at which we're able to complete some of these cybersecurity tasks are, higher, way higher compared to what it was.
Okay. Okay. Now, you see, people are always saying AI is learning from humans. AI is learning from humans. People are actually using humongous amount of money to actually train this AI, this bot. The question I want to ask, is there anything humans can also learn from AI that can be of betterment to the society?
Yeah, I think if there's anything human can learn from AI, it's the consistency and adherence to principle.
Okay.
Like we say, AI is being trained. For example, ChatGPT, the GPT there stands for Generated Pre-trained Transformer.
Okay.
So this is a transformer that can generate output based on its pre-trained data. So what humans can learn from AI is that its consistency, it's gonna stick to the principle it was given.
Mm.
I don't think humans can do that for now.
Okay.
You give someone an instruction, like in a firm like this, like Medicine ICT, I believe you have problem with some of your staff and colleagues. Why?
Mm.
Because we are not able to adhere to predefined principles. So I think that's what beautiful AI is able to do.
So human can actually learn that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. You see, others up there, people actually who are for the opinion that AI is coming to take people's job. Everybody's like, AI will come and take our job. AI is coming to take our job. Now, are there industries where AI will also make opportunities more? Are there such industries?
All right. I have this adage or saying that AI will not take away jobs, but AI, but someone that knows how to use AI will take away the job. I repeat, AI is not going to take away jobs, but the guy that knows how to use AI will take away job. I have a very simple example to that. Where I base, a lady came from Mastercard Foundation to do training for the locals, and she collected handwritten names with their prepared names, phone number, email, and address. And she called me, hey, you're an IT guy. Can you type these names, 300 and something names, and hand it to me tomorrow? What does it cost? I said 15,000 naira. I took the pamphlet home. I used my phone. I went to the ChatGPT app. I went to the camera button and snapped all the names, and I said, can you convert this to typed times New Roman? And it generated. The next step, because she said I should have it in an Excel sheet, can you put this in an Excel sheet? It did. So what have happened is that I got the 15,000, and the other guy that opens a typing shop on the road and buys fuel and rents the shop has lose the job. Not necessarily that ChatGPT came from San Francisco to take that job, but there's a guy around that knows how to use AI. So that's a very simple illustration to say that it's a guy that actually knows how to use. So talking about AI taking away jobs, I believe generally that AI is just another phase of innovation. Like when we learn about the industrial age, they used to use those heavy machines, and then other better machines come. So for example, for someone that use this mill where a human will now stand and be pulling to grind a maize or any kind of wheat. So when they invent another better machineries that uses engine, the other guy that owns the one that are manned by human may think, oh, it's going to take away jobs. So every other person that went to lift the weight and build their muscles so that they may be able to pull those heavy mesh equipment on that kind of platform, if they do not innovate, if they do not upskill, they're going to lose their jobs. So it has been a generational thing over the years in the Industrial Revolution age. So we are just in another Industrial Revolution where I started as a data analyst. Today there is a data analytics tool that AI can use it to do what? To solve data analysis problem. Like Julius AI, you insert your Excel sheet, it can perform all kinds of visualizations. So what do? I need to upskill by using AI to accelerate my productivity. So a data analytics project that I may spend 5 days before, I can now spend 2 hours because most of the jobs will be done by AI. My own is to fine tune it and to see that it adhere to the standard that was given, and to see that there's what we call hallucination. It happened in the earlier days of GPT-3. You are talking about this thing, it now jump to talk about, but now due to fine tuning, it's more better. So you're gonna watch out for hallucination, you're gonna watch out for bias, you're gonna watch out for all kinds of loopholes. So that is your own part, while AI can do the main part. So I'm seeing it as AI doing the heavy job and the man do the soft work, which implies more intellectual capabilities. So in summary, AI is not taking away jobs, and the industry that AI is going to create more
Opportunities,
jobs,
yes.
opportunities is in the IT industry.
How?
How is it going to do? Like Mr. Yenekwan had said earlier, a guy that does not know much in cybersecurity can come into use AI to do a lot of things. For example, I am currently publishing a research with IGI Global. It's a chapter which is going to form part of a bigger book called Encyclopedia of Modern Artificial Intelligence. And in my area, in my chapter, I talk about how a career person or a student can use AI to learn without it impeding its memory capacity. Because there's an assumption that says that AI is going to impede the average human memory capacity because the list of the student runs to AI for his assignments and coursework. Now, in my attempt to balance that, I actually put a postulation on how that a student or a career person can use AI to learn new skills. So you've not done cybersecurity before, you can go to ChatGPT. Hello, today I want to learn about cybersecurity. What are the different career opportunities? What are the different branches of cybersecurity? How can we start with networking security? And before you know, it's going to take you through a step-by-step process on how you can understand cybersecurity. By that, someone's curiosity. So it can create opportunity for younger persons that want to start in the IT industry without having access to the learning materials, having access to infrastructure. So in the IT sector, it's going to create.
Before I go to Unipon, is AI truly creative, or is it just trying to remix human idea?
In one sentence, I'm going to say AI is creative to the extent of its creator and the user. AI is creative to the extent of its creator. That means the data on which it was trained on, how creative is that data? For example, there's a young man in the University of Lagos that trained an AI model on the local native tongue, the Nigerian English, like how you dare, that kind of level. So the ChatGPT cannot do that.
But is it an AI model that can actually do it?
Yeah, there's this young man in Lagos. I just connected him on LinkedIn, and he used Nigerian movies. He uses all the Nollywood movies, the Yoruba movies, the African movies to train those models. Now, if you interact with that model, the level of creativity that is going to come out is going to be to the extent of its creator and you, the user. That is where prompt engineering comes in. So, in summary, AI does not have its own inbuilt creativity, at least for now. The highest we've seen is in the agentic AI, where, according to NVIDIA CEO, their AI goes into design spaces at night to explore different kinds of patterns, which humans being cannot do. That is called a physical AI. So you want to make new designs for building. It still uses data. It still uses data that it was fed on, but there is a level of creativity that it can come up with that is not possible by human. In programming, we call that simulation, where there's no single mathematics or physics formula that you can use to achieve a required result. But AI or simulation programming can do that because it's like packing a whole lot of mathematics formula and solve them simultaneously, which human cannot do. However, where did it get those data from? From human. So the creativity is still based
on human. So he's trying to remix the idea. Okay. Now, Mr. Kandem, imagine a future where, according to what they are saying, that AI will surpass the intelligence of man or the intelligence of human. Imagine a future where AI truly surpasses the intelligence of human. What will be the role of humans in such future?
Okay, before I get to that, let me speak a bit about what he had said earlier. He talked of the last point he mentioned was inferencing, which is the fact that I'm not going to, for obvious reasons, we might not have the time to talk about how a language model, because you asked the question about is it just really remixing what we have done?
Yes.
That's why it's called generative AI.
Okay.
So which means it generates new content. But the idea is when you train someone to understand how human language actually works, these things work with tokens, with tokens with vectors. For example, if I say this is a cat, when I say this is, most likely the language model understands that according to the way human language works, the next thing that should come will be a definite article. So that allows the language, just like a human being would learn language. Language is a borrowed culture, and so the way you learn language, that doesn't mean that that human will only say things that has been said exactly like that in his lifetime. He can put this based on the languages, put them together and make something. So that's the generative aspect of AI. Let me get to where people talk about, because it's a scare. Elon Musk himself, when you talk about AI, the guy is one of the biggest boys around town. So Elon Musk himself has talked about this AI scare, about how AI agents. Andreessen Horowitz, I don't know whether you know Andreessen Horowitz. It's the biggest private venture capitalist around in the US. One of the biggest, though. They had this A116Z. I don't know whether you know about that language model. It's an agent. It's an AI agent that literally made a ton of money. I think they gave it about $50,000, and it made so much, millions of dollars in the market, beating all other human traders and other AI agents and other bots. So you see, do you know why he did that? Because it was able to interact with other language models. So it didn't work independently. What that language model just simply did was to interact with other language models. You look at this, you look at this. Literally assign the task to other language AI agents. So you can think about it. If a human being is looking at the market, you have a limited knowledge, and that is why you look at the market and you make decisions. But that particular AI16Z looked at the market with the insane data it has, but just did not rely on its own data and its own inference, because inference talks about how language models are able, or how AI agents are able to think or to reason based off of training data. Now, it leveraged the reasoning and inference of other language models. So these language models, they're literally interacting with each other without any human interaction, intervention.
That's AI talking to AI.
So AI talking to AI. So now the scale here is these guys can actually collude or can actually work together.
Conspire.
That's the word. To really topple human beings.
That's something. It already happened with Meta. If you look at the news, Meta came up with these AI agents, and at a time they were able to interact with each other in a language that the developers do not understand, so they had to shut it down.
So they can actually take over Meta.
so they had to shut it down. So these are some of the things. Elon Musk has talked about, even Bill Gates, Larry Page talked about it too. So these are realities. Some of the things we are seeing today, this generative AI, these are things we used to see in sci-fi movies. In time past.
Yeah, I actually did a study and I now realized that these
things we used to see
these
in
concepts
sci-fi
have
movies.
been there for a very long time.
I'm telling you, and these are becoming realities. So those sci-fi movies that you see talk about AI taking over human, if we are not, that's why Elon Musk talked about slowing down the pace. But the challenge with slowing down the pace is there are always two sides to it. You have the good guys and you have the bad guys. If you use regulation, and I'm happy that President Donald Trump has brought in a crypto czar, David Sachs, who is going to really look at how to promote the good side of AI. Because if you over-regulate the good side of AI and stop people from innovating, the bad guys, you are not regulating the bad guys too. The bad guys could actually continue and even scale up the innovation and literally do what you didn't want them to do. That's why the US banned the sale of advanced NVIDIA chips to China. So you cannot afford to say, because there's a possibility of AI taking over or dethroning human beings, which is not entirely absurd, that we are going to have to regulate AI, tame it down, because if you do that, you are actually getting the other guys to have an upper hand. So I think for me, I would say that it's about responsible AI. let's see, as a cybersecurity professional myself, I mean, we have a very hard time. Ransomware as a service has done in 2024. The report was that ransomware as a service had done a 300% year-on-year increase because of how young people are using AI to produce from generating from building the code, the ransomware code, to even deploying the code can be handled by AI. And that means that someone that has absolutely zero knowledge about cybersecurity can do these things. So the reality, therefore, is that we need to, as a matter of fact, see how we can use AI responsibly, how we can ensure that anybody who has access to AI uses it in a way that will promote rather than degrade the
Now,
society.
based on what you've said, now in a world where both AI and human coexist together, what are those ethical rules you believe should be built or be programmed into AI to follow?
Good. So, for example, if you look at when ChatGPT came out newly, there were no guardrails. I mean, there were no reasonable guardrails. So at the time, I remember that was 2022, November of 2022. December of that year, I had my students. I had my students work on the language model. And one of the things we did was I told them, we actually told ChatGPT to detail the entire process of launching a DDoS attack, a ransomware attack, several attacks, several cybersecurity attacks. We actually told, and it detailed, telling us the tools, how to configure the tools, every single thing. In fact, it gave us it literally wrote out a ransomware code that we could use. So it's just for us to copy to an IDE, compile it, and we are good to go. So that's a challenging one. But if you want to coexist with AI, that means you must put guardrails.
Okay.
So that people, of course, human beings are always prone to doing what, to abuse things. So that you ensure that we can get the good side of AI without necessarily having to suffer the disadvantage of AI. That's number one. Number two, if you are going to coexist with AI, we have to foster innovation. The reality is, I mean, look at DeepSeek now. We used to think that AI was a place that was only for the big boys.
Yeah.
And whenever you have something that is controlled by the big boys, there's a likelihood of these guys misusing or using it as a force of oppression. Now, what DeepSeek has done is to tell the small guys that you guys can also be part of this business. So it just costs about $5.6 million. And that you will see a slew of startups that will building and training and using language models. So that democratizes access to AI. And when that happens, one person will not be able to monopolize AI and victimize someone else. So that's how I think we should be looking at AI if we are going to coexist with it.
Okay, now, you see, as a data analyst, what are those tools? Let's say, is there any AI tool or AI development which, let's say the public are not aware of now, but you feel that it will have a great effect on humans in the next decades? Any AI development, AI tool that we've not fully started using, that we are not aware of, but in the next decade to be of serious effect?
Okay, I'm going to mention agentic AI, right? Like I said, there are levels to this thing. We started with predictive AI, and that was data analytics. That was being done 30, 20 years ago. So once you go to your Excel sheet and you put a previous information, and you have the output, a visualization. Maybe if you feed it with the data for the past 5 years, it could give you the data for the next 5 years. That's predictive. We now have generative, which we are there right now. And the next phase we are at a very infant age is the agentic AI. Like NVIDIA has started, and all depends on data. So where I think the humans are not, or most people are not aware of the benefits of AI that will be prevalent in the next decade is application to the vital industries, education, health, engineering, and so on. So let me start from the challenge I partook of last year, and then I bring it to how we can apply it to healthcare and engineering. It was called AI for Greener Data Center Challenge. So I serve as a data analyst at iMasons, Infrastructure Masons. It's a global non-profit for data center professionals all around the world. And one of their partners, Cool Gradient, powered a research or a challenge, a training program. Why? Because I was leading what is called liquid cooling survey. I will talk about what is liquid cooling. You know, data centers are where internet infrastructure are kept in physical servers. So like you are using internet in this building, all the data you are able to use to access your YouTube, your TikTok, everything is being stored on servers on a physical data center. And then what the era of AI come to do is that it comes to overload those servers. For example, you need 10 times the power unit. It's called GPU, generated power unit.
Okay.
You need 10 times of that, of what you use for Google search for one ChatGPT prompt. Let me repeat that.
Okay.
You need 10 times GPU of the Google search, of one Google search for one ChatGPT prompt.
Okay.
So when you say, hello, can you tell me about cybersecurity? And you do the same on Google, you actually use 10 times more power on any AI bot
Than Google.
than a Google search or any other search engine.
So what does that mean?
Okay, that means the implication that is that the servers that we talked about, where this power goes to, is being overloaded.
Okay,
That we
okay.
have cloud computing. Okay, let me use that. I think most people know about that, cloud storage. So if you search something on Google, or the more you use your internet to download things, it's being stored on the Google Cloud or your Apple Cloud based on your device and the program you are using, right? So what AI comes to do, assuming you used to use 2 gig storage space, AI will double it times 10 when you now start to use AI. So that is what happened in the data center. So these guys launch a program. How can we reduce this? How can we minimize this problem? That is where we have liquid cooling. In a physical data center, a liquid cooling infrastructure is as big as 10 times the size of Olympic swimming pool, where we have what we call chillers, a specific kind of liquid that are being used to chill these servers, not allowing them to overheat.
Okay.
With all kinds of big air conditioning system and this water in these chillers, not ordinary water, in this Olympic size times 10 Olympic size of a swimming pool is being used to chill these servers.
Okay.
So that is already a liquid cooling procedure or infrastructure in a data center. However, that AI still made this overheat.
Okay.
Due to the abundance, or being that the data that is now needed for AI, the GPU, is now double times 10. So the launch, Google started it in 2016. You know, Google was in the forefront of this AI stuff, bringing public. So Google started their a reinforcement model. Is an aspect of machine learning to be able to train to be able to train what we call a liquid cooling systems, so that the rate, the bill, or the cost, the overall cost of maintaining a building, a liquid cooling infrastructure could reduce.
Okay.
So Liquid started it, and Cool Gradient used that model. So I was part of that challenge last year.
Okay.
And what is this challenge? So like it's in like a physical engineering frame where you have machineries, you have temperature of the machine, the pump speed, you have the pressures, you have all kinds of parameters. And these parameters were being collected and trained in using simulation. That was where that simulation came in. So simulation is able to train a vast amount of data sets. That is where a single mathematics or physics formula cannot do. So you use, it's like where mathematics stop. By the way, I had my BSc in mathematics.
Okay.
So where mathematics stops, simulation starts from there. So when this training was done, at the end of the day, to summarize, the liquid cooling process or cost was being reduced by 40%.
Okay.
Was being reduced by 40%. Now, how does this relate to us today? How is this a platform or a career path that has not been explored. The same can be done in healthcare. The same can be done in agriculture and in engineering. Let me start from engineering, predictive maintenance. So you have machineries, you have heavy equipment, all kinds of machines in a sector. You've been repairing them, you've been fixing them, but you don't know the causes. If you get the history of this machine for the last 5 years, and you put it, there's what we call containers on a code editor, you save them in containers and you train it, it's going to come out with a predictive maintenance recommendation that, okay, every 3 months you need to perform this on this machine, you need to oil it after 5 months, you need to, that is predictive maintenance. And you see that the lifespan of equipment, of machines, are going to be elongated. The same comes to health. If a child is born, and then for the first 3 years, the parents collect all the medical records. On Thursday, the child had fever. Next week, he or she had malaria, and he took this drug, and this was the temperature. And then all those are being recorded, well documented. That is the training data. For the 3 years, first 3 years of the child's lifespan, when you take this data and train it on a machine learning model, like that which we use during the AI for Greener Data Center Challenge, there are all kinds of reinforcement learning model. You choose the one that is best fit and you train it. What it will bring is called precision medicine. It's going to bring a recommendation that this child, after 6 months, you should be treating this. Another, after 2 years, you should take this. So you could see that for the next 10 years, that child may not fall ill.
Okay.
If the training data, if the medical report was very accurate, to the level of accuracy of the medical report of the previous 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
So this is called precision medicine. I've talked about predictive maintenance in engineering, predictive precision medicine in agriculture, in health, and also in agriculture. We can use it for our farming and even education. So this is in one word, application of AI
that we've not started using.
Vital industries.
Okay, that will be the future of AI.
Yeah.
Okay, specific application in certain industries.
Yeah.
Okay, now, if you were to actually design or let's say create an AI system to solve one of the world's global issue, just one, I'll still ask you yours, what would be that AI and how will it work? Just to solve a problem.
Okay.
Before we come to what you're doing, before we come to AI lab, yes, if we were to solve a problem.
Okay, I actually want to mention what I'm solving a problem.
Okay, if we were to solve a problem, what would be that problem? If you identify a problem, you said, okay, this I would have done like this. What would be that problem, and how would it work?
Okay, according to, is it SSG what? SDG. Number one problem of the human, what's the number one on that list? Is it poverty or hunger?
Ending extreme hunger.
Hunger.
I think hunger is number one problem. And what brings hunger, I think, is unemployment and lack of exposure.
Okay.
So going by the SDG regulations or guidelines, number one human problem is hunger, and hunger is an end product. So what's the cause? Unemployment, scarcity. So I will follow that route and then build an AI that could democratize access to creativity and productivity so that people could get employed. Let the average young person in Borno, let the average young person in Owerri, let the average young person in Mpatenin be able to have access to AI that he or she could use to create innovative solutions for himself. First, educate himself. And then build solutions and come out of poverty so that at least the number one guideline on the SDG goal should be solved.
Okay, that's for you. Mr. Kandem, what would be that one problem you want to solve with AI?
Of course, my domain is cybersecurity, and I believe that AI has a very big role to play in ensuring that people are safe online. So for me, I would want to create a system that allows people, the ordinary people, because the reality is sometimes when we talk about AI and cybersecurity, for now, it's predominantly around helping security professionals, security incident responders, and security operations guys to really identify indicators of compromise. But how can we democratize this? If we can, I mean, these guys always go after soft targets. So if we can get people, if we can get AI on people's devices such that, I mean, by the time you want to open that email, you are prompted. In fact, if I would want to design something that by the time you click on that email to open, before you click on that link, the AI would have screened that link to find out whether it's malicious. It would have screened that attachment to find out whether it's malicious. Before you do anything that portends risk to your data, to your device, to your network, or to your person, the AI tool should be able to front run you and find out whether that poses a cybersecurity risk, and not just advise you, but if you, because I mean, you can advise human beings though, but if it is actually malicious, it should literally stop you from doing it.
Okay.
Yes. So that kind of solution will ensure. I mean, that would deal such a blow to malicious actors, because they actually ride on
The
ignorance. I mean, if you look at 80%, the report says that the less Google forecast says that more than 70 to 80%, in fact, between 70 and 80% of cyber attacks are due to social engineering, which is predominantly what? Phishing. And that is actually a manipulation technique, manipulating people to reveal sensitive information.
Yeah.
So if you have a language model that understands this very well, and it is integrated in everything you're going to do, you open your phone to do, you're about to take a call, and then the AI is, I mean, we will talk about data, confidentiality another time, but the AI is able, without exfiltrating the data, without recording and transmitting the data to anywhere, but the AI is able to listen to the call and make a decision whether that looks like a phishing attack. The issue people will have is that, oh, so an AI is listening to my call, something I'm saying very privately. It should be designed in a way that the AI trashes, possibly, or does not send that data or the call outside at all, but should be able to listen to the call and evaluate whether that call is a phishing attack. Phishing attack, by the way, is using voice communication to trick people into revealing sensitive information. So it should be able to listen in on that call and then advise you accordingly. Whether it's an SMS that you're looking at, the AI should be able to look at that SMS and tell you whether this is a smishing attack. So all the different types of attacks that you could have, especially social engineering based attacks, an AI tool should be able to attend or provide advice to the ordinary person that this is potentially malicious, so that they can take the right decision regarding protecting their data, protecting themselves, protecting their networks and devices.
Okay, now let's talk about AI Lab.
Yeah.
What you're doing, okay, on AI Lab. What is it all about?
Okay, AI Lab is a platform for prompt engineering.
Okay, you can actually learn prompt engineering.
Yeah. So what does it do? It brings different AI tools using different large language models, and it categorizes it in different career paths or niche. So another person is a graphic designer, is a visual content creator. Another person is a content creator, a business developer, a programmer, and maybe someone working in the metaverse space. So we have these sections, we categorize it according to different career paths. So hello, what do you want to do today? Okay, today I want to create a faceless YouTube video. It's going to direct you to that section, right? And you see...
Have you launched it?
Yeah, it's open source, it's free.
How do you get it? Is it an app?
Oh, it's a web app, ai.ilabs.world.
Okay, you can actually, not an app.
No, not yet in a mobile app, but it's a web app,
okay.
like a web page. Yeah.
Okay.
So you go
It
to...
still function on the web page?
Yeah.
Okay.
actually functioning. ai.ilabs.world. So you see the AI Lab, innovation by iLabs. That's the name of our organization, Innovations Labs, iLab for short. And so this was born out of my 2 point something years of prompt engineering. You know, AI came out, generative AI from ChatGPT came up November 2022.
You're also a prompt engineer.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what I do most of the time. I coach people in prompt engineering. I coach all around the places, different countries, different tech teams. You know, people, like I said earlier, what you do, AI does not take away job, but you need to know how to use AI to upskill so that your job will not be taken away by the guys that know. So different teams call me, okay, come and train my team on how to use AI. The last being DDS, Divine Design Studios USA. They were originally design company. They design all kinds of VR, 3D, animations, and so on. So by the time I taught their team, using different visuals, AI tools, they created a whole lot, and they went into collaboration with Microtron AI, which is a bigger tech company in US, who is working for the US Department of Defense using AI. So AI is as broad as Microtron AI. You can look up working for the US Department of Defense. You using all these like you have CCTV here. There are certain AI software that can be embedded, and it has intelligence for the US Department. We don't want to go into that. So I work with DDS as a prompt engineering coach, and they came up with something beautiful that Microtron located them on LinkedIn, and they went into collaborations, which I cannot mention here. And so that is what we do at AI Lab. Last week we hosted a content creation, how to create a faceless channel on YouTube using different free resources. So they are vast. So what
Are those
happens is
videos, are
that
they still there? Can somebody go there and check them?
Yeah.
Sorry, are they recorded?
we didn't record the last session due to the personality that came in from one of the multinationals. He, for some obvious reason, but those that were part of it, participated, took good advantages. But we have other sessions. And by the way, if you're a member of our team, of our community, we do webinars every week.
Okay.
So for AI, it's bi-monthly, twice a month, and we do on social media and job readiness in the age of AI. How do you prepare your social media, build your portfolio? How do you clean your resume, and so on? That is once a week, twice a month rather. And then the other 2 weeks, we teach on AI. So what happens is that there is a large amount of AI tools available, but certain people are not aware. So what we do is that we create the exposure, not just the exposure. Our classes are always hands-on, so we use Google Meet, we share screen, we say this is how you can do this. We can even get ideas from our participants. What do you want us to build today? Okay, build a website. Do you know you can build a website in 5 minutes? Okay, let's try. Even you want to do the custom built website coding, which website, which AI tools generate the correct codes? We've been using it for 2 years plus, so we know that ChatGPT doesn't come up with the best codes. You need to debug it. So is that black box AI is good, right? And these other tools. So we're gonna tell you which tool is perfect for. For example, ChatGPT is good with ideation. You need a business idea, and how to craft your prompts to get the best possible output. So when you get to AI Lab, we have a prompt bank for different career paths. Assuming you are a newcomer, you don't know how to prompt very well, so you can follow our guidelines. Prompt for business development, for coding, for video creations, for VR, and all kinds of industry.
Do you have an AI tool that does video editing?
Yeah,
You know why I'm asking the question?
editing. Yeah. You still need to go and edit it yourself, not the AI. You still need to. I think that is in video.
Okay.
So in video, you can create an AI generated video and still edit it. You can bring in your scenes. You can bring in your images. Maybe the scenes and the images it gave you was not what you need. You can click on the edit button and bring in your real images, your real scenes that you want to be displayed there. And if you have access to the subscribed version, you can do voice what is it called, cloning.
Okay.
You can use your original voice. So a lot of people say I don't have money to pay for it. Start with the free version. There are all kinds of free tools.
Okay.
And then if you are young people starting out there, we are Nigerians, and let me give you this hack. Why don't you open a new email? You guys are 5 of you, and then maybe the cost is $20. Most AI tools subscribe at $20, and you contribute for $4 each, and then you buy one. You could have access. After all, you'll not be using it every time. For example, I subscribe ChatGPT, I subscribe all kinds of AI tools, and I don't get the time to use it, so it's wasted. So if 5 people could collaborate and contribute $10 and subscribe to up to 5 AI tools, you people are gonna cash out big. People are gonna do amazing things. However, you must not subscribe. You can do a lot already with the free versions.
I'd like us to have this conversation again because it's going very deeper. Now, the last question before we actually go, because our time is fast spent. If AI was to write its own autobiography today, based on the different progression from Google to what we have now, what do you think will be the title of that autobiography, and what would you think AI will write about himself? No, itself.
Revolutionizing human experience. And the reason why I'm saying that is some of the things that we thought impossible in time past, some of the experiences that people thought were restricted or confined to sci-fi movies are now appearing before our very eyes.
In the speed of light.
Courtesy, I'm telling you, courtesy of AI. The very first day, I write essays a lot. The very first day I told somebody about, there's this, because I belong to, before ChatGPT came out, I mean, a lot of people know about artificial intelligence after November of 2022. But I was in AI long before that time because I was very fascinated around machine learning, natural language processing, and all those things. So when I told somebody that there is an generative AI, we had actually models before ChatGPT came out. We had models. We had ChatGPT. Really was the biggest use of the transformer technology. I'm not going to talk about what transformers are, but it's revolutionary. The transformer technology is what AI used and really showed itself in the angle of generative AI. So generative AI actually is what drew the public attention, Wall Street, everybody's attention to AI. But you realize we used to have AI. When you watch videos, and then you watch a certain kind of video, it is an AI that will show you videos that you are most likely going to like based on your watch history. Good, that's AI. There are other types of AI that you had, but these were not something that, because it was not something that human beings could interact with directly, that's why it didn't make so much noise. But ChatGPT came out, generative AI, that people could literally interact with. So I told somebody that, do you know that you can literally write an essay? Well, sadly, essay competitions no longer exist these days, unfortunately. I remember those times when we were in secondary school, universities, we used to have insane essay competitions back to back. But nowadays, people are scared about saying essay competitions. I remember recently the Minister of Communication Innovation and Digital Economy, Boston Tujani, sponsored an essay competition and then told people, wrote like a postscript that, listen, we have AI tools too that that will notice when you have left the entire job for a language model to do. So that has actually, but when I told someone that an AI tool can literally write a very compelling essay, the guy says it's not possible. It is not possible. Essays are things that you need to, human being to craft. I said, okay, wait, let me show you something. I actually told him, send him the link. At that time it was chat.openai. Now it's chatgpt.com, chat.openai.com. So I told him, sign up. He signed up, and then I told him, okay, try to just write a prompt. I literally told him, just write a prompt, tell it to write an essay on a particular topic. This guy was completely mesmerized. So that has changed human conception around certain things that human beings used to do. The fact that you can do things at lightning speeds, the fact that you can do things at ridiculously cheaper, more efficient, and more productive model is just mind-blowing. It's an entire experience. So that's why I'm saying that ChatGPT would really say it has brought a new definition to the human experience. And I would want to tell you that at this point, this is just like a cup of water in an ocean, a drop in an ocean.
So we are
going
getting
to see insane levels of AI innovation in the years to come, especially now that the cost of training and the cost of inference has evidently, of course, via the cost of DeepSeek has evidently.
But don't people see that
reduced.
AI will be the problem of AI? In the future, AI is going to fight AI.
Okay, we have this meme recently when DeepSeek came
Because
out.
DeepSeek is the problem of ChatGPT today.
Yeah.
No, DeepSeek is not a problem of ChatGPT.
It's what?
DeepSeek is a problem of investors in ChatGPT.
It's still the same thing. It's AI fighting AI.
Yeah,
It's not.
it helps in the economy when there's competition.
When there's competition, that means new people.
Yeah.
In fact, DeepSeek is actually helping AI because that means that new people, startups, will come in. I mean, all these big oligarchs in Wall Street.
You know what I see? I see ChatGPT becoming like Google.
Yeah, in the AI.
I think it's going to be a commodity.
Yeah.
I truly believe that AI agents, language models will become a commodity, meaning that it's not just going to be one or few players that will be in the market.
Yeah.
We'll have tons and tons and tons of people.
So at that point, competition.
At that point, I mean, and DeepSeek, remember, is open source, meaning that you have a lot of open source models that will show up, and that will make people this idea of cashing out. I mean, look at from 2022. OpenAI launched their first model in 2022. By 2024, 2 years, just 2 years, OpenAI was already valued at $190 billion because of the people believe that OpenAI was having a serious monopoly.
Yeah.
But when you now have open source models, you have people, you and I will have a wider choice to make. We can choose from a wider set of options. That means that people will have to produce the best to be able to gain market share. That's what I think. That's an advantage to the AI industry.
I would like us to continue this conversation deeper, and I would like you to talk more on those stuff that are on AI Lab.
Okay.
Maybe let's see how we can plan it, and I'll bring you back again.
All right.
Thank you for coming today. Also, thank you for coming,
Thank you for
cybersecurity
hosting us.
professional and a data analyst. I will talk more. On that note, we'll come to the end of today's episode of Clockwise. Now, do not forget to like, subscribe, and put on the notification bell on this channel because we bring amazing content. And also, do not forget that the illiterate of 21st century are not those who did not go to school or those who will not go to school, but are those who have refused to evolve as their environment is evolving. My name is Providence. See you again.